What's going on, my friends? I really hesitate doing a video like this because I absolutely prefer to stay positive when it comes to preparing for the CISSP exam. But I have to do this as a courtesy and a public service announcement. So without further ado, let me cut right to the chase. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that people don't put in enough time or that their study habits are bad or the top 5 or anything like that. Those nuggets to me are obvious, or at least they should be for those of you who are serious about the CISSP. The reason people are failing is simply because the books don't align with the common body of knowledge. Or to put it another way, the books aren't covering the same topics, or they're not using the same terminology. It's like American English versus the British English, where one book might talk about napkins referring to something you wipe your mouth with, whereas the other book talks about diapers. To fully understand this, we have to establish what the common body of knowledge is, since there are so many books out there, and none of us know which one to use for our studying. From what I know, the common body of knowledge consists of a book previously known as the official CISSP Student Guide, not to be confused with the official study guide by Mike Chappell. Both can be abbreviated to OSG, and both have the label quote-unquote official, so this might be confusing if you read a lot of advice in the forums. The student guide is not available after 2021 since CISSP converted it to something called the self-paced training. This is the only true, in my opinion, the only true quote-unquote official presentation of the common body of knowledge, since it comes directly from CISSP. So why doesn't everyone just go out and purchase this training? Well, as you can see, for one thing, the price tag is now $950. This is insane. For those of you who've purchased that training, like myself, you'll know that it's simply a hired actor reading parts from the CISSP book, the former student guide or instructor guide, whatever you want to call it. And he's doing this in the style of a news reporter. You can tell he's just reading from a prompt. It's awful, but I should probably refrain from critiquing the training itself because that's not really the purpose of this video, so let me digress. Given the price and given that it's a publication from CISSP itself, I'm making the assumption that the contents within this thing will be on the exam. So I treat this version of the common body of knowledge as gospel, so to speak. And I've also heard from a colleague who took the exam recently and found that a few of the questions were directly from random paragraphs in this book, paragraphs that you would likely overlook. So again, I believe we can consider this to be the official common body of knowledge, which is now called the official CBK, or the official common body of knowledge training seminar. I guess it's not called the self-paced training anymore. They keep rebranding this thing. So how do I know that the books don't align with the common body of knowledge? Well, I was planning to do a book review of the 3 most popular CISSP books on the market. I was going to do this in order to help you all select the most appropriate book, or at least the one that seems to be the most accurate. So I went onto Amazon and got the 3 most popular updated books: Mike Chappell's official study guide, the official CISSP CBK reference, and the Sean Harris all-in-one exam guide. Now, there are a lot of people who like the 11th Hour book as well, but that one doesn't really have a 2021 version that I could see, so I skipped that one for now. I went through a list of significant topics and did a keyword search in each book, and what I discovered was shocking. And quite frankly, the reason that I believe people are failing this exam. Again, the reason here is that the books aren't aligning with the common body of knowledge. So let's take a look at my analysis sheet where I took some keywords that you might not be familiar with, and using a find function, I tried to see if these topics were covered in the other books. On the left, you'll see the term and the domain, and these other columns are the 3 main books that I've been reviewing. Notice how there are a lot of terms listed here that simply aren't covered in the books, but are covered in the self-paced training. This, to me, is a huge problem. Now, before you all start commenting on how some of these terms are actually covered in the books, and I say that they're not, let me just qualify this for a second, and then feel free to make your comment. A lot of us go into this exam with less than 10 years of experience, and only have experience in a few of these domains, so it's pertinent. I mean, it's actually critical that all of these books be using the same terminology to describe the same thing. So, for example, if one person calls it a replication site, and the other calls it a mirror site, and the exam calls it an alternate site, the person taking the exam is obviously going to fail that question. Now, I mean, that's just a crude example, right? Hopefully you get my point. So just take a moment to look at this list and notice just how many terms aren't covered in these books. I hope to finish my full review soon, and I'll try to dig into these terms a little bit more for everyone's benefit. But from the looks of it, these books only got a portion of the newly updated common body of knowledge. And it really begs the question, where did these authors get their source material from? I mean, It's obviously not the same as the self-paced training. So I'll leave that thought with you here. Let me know in the comments if I've got it all wrong or if I've missed something. This is not the type of video I wanted to produce today, so I apologize for the somewhat bad news here, but I do think it's important for you all to be informed about these publishing companies who are capitalizing, wrongly I might add, off of all of you, and it concerns me that these books are allowed to use the term quote-unquote official, when in reality nothing could be further from the truth. So I'm thinking about contacting ISC² about this because I think there needs to be an agreed upon list of terminology and phrases that the books should cover, that all the books should cover, and those terms should be the terms that you see in the exam as well. So I will do a follow-up video to this and let you all know how it goes. Hope this doesn't make you too discouraged about the exam. Just know that that $950 training package is probably the one that you should go for, and if possible, have your employer pay for it. So once again, thanks for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments, and have a great day.